Hey, Dr. Tom coming to you today. The lesson in marketing involves fishing, so I'm going to get this little guy back in the water. If you want to learn about how fishing has to do with marketing, stay with me, because I've got a great lesson for you. Okay, so I shut the motor off so that we could have a little quiet here. I got my trusty Fenwick reel with my St. Croix rod, and I want to talk to you about this lesson in marketing that came to me while we were fishing. So stay tuned here, and I'm going to show you literally what I was using and what ended up working and what has that got to do with marketing. Well, stay with me, watch the whole video to the end. All right, so let's get into the heart of this thing. What has fishing got to do with marketing? Well, just like marketing and fishing, with this particular example, you got to know what species you're fishing. So in a marketing world, you have to know exactly who your ideal practice member or a client is. Okay, we call it your avatar, just like you know, the big blue things in the movies that were made in the image of, right? So your avatar is your ideal practice member, and if you don't have one yet, well then just think of who it is that you really enjoy spending time with. Who is your favorite patient, favorite practice member? That is who will ideally become your avatar. And when you're writing marketing, when you're designing marketing, whether it's a social media post or an email or whatever it is, just always have that person in mind. Okay, so what's the analogy to fishing? Well, I'm on a trout lake. This is one of our wilderness properties, and there's only trout in this lake, both beautiful speckles and lake trout. And I caught a really nice speckle and a couple of lake trout the other day, so I was, back out. But a little bit slower today. And even though I knew exactly what kind of fish I wanted to catch and stuff, they weren't biting, and I trolled for over an hour of streamer flies before I had, a hit. So this little guy, wasn't what they were after, and so this little guy wasn't what they're after, and then this little guy wasn't what they're after, and I even put something really bright and fluffy on, and that wasn't it. And it turns out that what they were after was this guy right here, which ended up producing the fish that I showed you just a bit earlier. Okay, so what's this got to do with marketing? Well, if you know who your avatar is and you know what it is that you want them to do, you've got to be sure that you're putting the right bait, if you will, the right fly across in front of them. Because if you're not giving them the right offer, if you're not giving them something that they're interested in, something that speaks to their values, something that's inherently valuable to them, there's literally almost no chance at all that they're going to bite, just like the fish didn't, right? So I was offering them some different things. I tried 4 different sets of 2 combinations before I finally found the one that they wanted. I was also changing speed. I was also changing depth that I was going over top of. I was changing the depth with which my reel was running. I was making a lot of modifications until I kept up with the right formula. Now, many people get frustrated in marketing because, well, I tried this thing and it didn't really work that well. And it's like, well, if you're mission-centric and your mission's important to you, well, then you need to try something else. Again, focused on your avatar, but in my case, I went over the exact same water. I could have went to a different chunk of water, but I wanted to try this because I knew it was a good body of water. Well, there's another piece about marketing, you guys. You've got to know what type of marketing is going to work. What type of body of water, using the fishing example, is really what your target is. I mean, if you're not a social media person, for God's sakes, don't do social media. If you're not a live and in-person speaker kind of person, well then, maybe you should be doing social media. If you're not somebody that shows up on video, for God's sakes, don't start a YouTube channel. If you're not somebody that, knows how to write well then you shouldn't be, writing. You should be enrolling somebody else to do that for you. So again, you've got to be changing the different things that you're trying, just like I was changing the different flies I was trying in order to, get the right combination so that I could find out what it was that they wanted, okay? So definitely patience and persistence is a piece here, you guys, but if you're mission focused, if your mission's important to you, then why wouldn't you invest the time? Why wouldn't you try different options until you find out what's working? I think of a client of mine, Dr. Wayne, out in Vancouver, who we put together a reactivation program based upon his old clients, because he'd been in practice for a long time, like over 25 years. There was gold in them, their old patient files. And so I said to him, we just need to write a reactivation letter. So he invested an hour or so, wrote one, I vetted it, we mailed it out in 20-person chunks, so they didn't get overwhelmed with 70 new clients, reactivated clients. And lo and behold, when I talked to him a few weeks later, I said, how'd it go? He goes, it sucked. I only got like 2 clients out of it.
And I said, what do you mean it sucked? I said, you got 2 reactivations. I said, that's awesome. I said, what's your case average? And he goes, about $1,500. And I said, so wait, you made basically $3,000, and how much time did you spend? He goes, well, an hour riding, an hour farting around, getting it out there and stuff, so maybe a couple hours. I said, you're making $1,500 an hour and you're complaining? Wow, you guys, right? Again, you've got to be thinking about your ROI, but you've got to be putting it in perspective relative both to the time you put into it and or the money that you put into it. So, you know what? I'm going to see if I can swing this camera around here and give you a look at the beauty that is one of our wilderness properties. This is one of our wilderness properties here. Probably not doing a very good job of this, so if I just made you dizzy and sick, I apologize. But here's Dr. Tom winding up another great fishing trip with some marketing pieces for you. Go out there and get them, the same as I just did. Again, a lot of catch and release today. I didn't really keep any to eat, but that's another story for another day. So Dr. Tom, helping you become all that you were meant to become when the Creator loved you into existence, so you can do everything that you're meant to do, so you can have all that your heart desires and deserves. Heaven's sakes, if you're enjoying these videos, you guys, hit the subscribe button so that you'll be the first one notified when they come out. Dr. Tom signing off. I'd better go get this stuff back to shore.